Hello and welcome everybody. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina with Impressive Warrior. Thank you for joining. Got a few new ambiance markers here. Let's take a moment and take a deep breath, sync up our energies. As we release that, release any fears, anxieties, worries, dramas or otherwise through the smoke. Let them be transmuted for understanding and the highest possible good for all at this time. So, just a fair warning, I'm noticing that in my new space, my new chair is squeaking like crazy. Forgive me today, it'll be in the reading. So, I'll let you know that I believe everything leading into the reading is part of it. And today, I had a hard time sitting here. There were all these other things that I wanted to get just perfect. And, oh, I forgot this. And, oh, this belongs here. And I think to a certain extent, when you first move something, to a large degree, like if you change up your entire living room, you might decide, oh yeah, that lamp would be better next to this chair because that's where I'm actually going to be sitting and needing the light, and so such as that. So what I want to do is get an overall theme. That's a lot of cards, but as you know, if you've been here before, this is the way I like to do it. 36, the dance unveiling. That's a specific card with a specific personal meaning for myself here. And the overall meaning is that things cannot happen in the wrong order, even if they are the correct outcome or the highest good. It sometimes seems to take a crooked approach. And in the Tao, I'll get a Tao message as well. It says that sometimes the crooked or the straight path seems crooked, something such as that. We'll consult those next. Let's give you a peek at what's under here in just a second, but the dance unveiling is how we can't know what's about to happen. That sometimes if we were forewarned, we would not act in such a way as we did to begin with. And to put that into an example, I'm thinking of some of the people that are online these days kind of tricking their partner into acting in a certain way. Like, okay, I wasn't thinking of this at first, but there's also this trend that's kind of humorous where people will do their makeup really ridiculous, over the top, or even ugly and unflattering, like lipstick around. And they'll just kind of sit there and they'll be in the car like this, and then their partner gets in the car and then they turn around and they keep a straight face, and the partner's like, oh my gosh, wow. And so that's like the silly end of it. Or the people that are, it's kind of like entrapment, but it was in the endearing type of a way where people trick somebody into being like, oh, no, you're mine type of a thing. And that sounds manipulative now that I say that part out loud. But I was kind of seeing that as an aspect of how the universe is leading us like a parent to child into a situation. Not that we are children, but we're all... the inner child, let's say, is relevant, if nothing else here. And so it's like the dance unveiling is like, sometimes you can only tell the child what they should be doing so much. And it's bringing me into some of the pre-messages from my personal day to day. The play on words where you take the cultural type of references that we can make and how societal norms become ways to create unity on surfaces while underneath kind of glossing over the power of diversity, and even sometimes utilizing diversity to keep diversity in a disempowered state. And so I hope that you can understand that too. But so when we are in a state of not understanding our power as a people, as humans, towards the environment or towards animals or towards our sacred spiritual, all these words want to be it, but they're not quite it. It's like a understanding the true meaning of the word sovereignty is how they want me to say this. And that sometimes when I say sovereignty, maybe some people are believing that I'm talking about something that I'm not talking about. I'm talking about being energetically recreative, recreation, utilizing our opposition for advancement would be to allow, to surrender, but it's always got to be also somewhat dynamic surrender. And so sometimes there's also between, okay, I'm going to shift, stay with me, I'm going to make the point very soon with the transition. The shifting right now between our bodies previous structuring, whether we talk about the energetic structuring that we might not even understand below what we take account of in fibers and cellular makeup that we do understand. It's like there's something below the foundation of what we know that is fundamental. Some of those deepest science, sacred spirituality and scientific method combined. So it's kind of a tangent. So what we're wanting to say right now is that when we, for example, going from analog to digital in computer, in technology, and then to things such as Ethernet has been a theme. And then that's being shown to us as the micro, macro, cosmic correspondence here in patterning, harmonic scale. We can look at that as how the body is being upgraded right now, the DNA and everything else, moving into the crystalline informed structure. And so it's like the whole thing about duality right now, I believe that we are identifying, and some of us are being invited to see the threads between the threads. I don't want to get too much in a tangent, but it's like the two wings, one bird, two sides of one coin. We can look at this in any type of duality in our life. Gender, and we were getting something more of about the spectrum and the shades in between the black and the white, and breaking through cultural norms takes the identification of how the culture, in order to perpetuate itself, creates cults and harmonic thinking within sects. SECTS in that case. I'm going to move on. Oh boy, under the Tao deck, we still have communicate efficiently, which talks about making your point and believing that I'm making the point and being clear and distinct. So I hope that these pre-examples are going to help us understand what we need to look at here as the dance unveils itself to us. It's like, when we're dancing through the meadow, we might want to do a waltz, right? Who waltzes through the forest? Anyway, but there's the imagery of being more wild about it, because there are anomalies that pop up, such as, a tree growing in the path, a huge rut, karmic rut, You know what I'm saying? And so to avoid the pitfalls, we must always remain flexible in all things, such as our understanding of what we understand, because the binary message of duality today was talking about how everything that we choose to know is also a corresponding no. So the KNOW as opposed to the NO of the negative response. So I'm still working through the messages today, but my voice is very strained and I don't understand why in the moment. I have a lot of energy coursing through. Let's take a moment and ground. I don't know if you're feeling this electricity of the full moon that was just at the time of this reading conjunct Uranus, which is electricity and change bringer, revolutionary, full reversals, full stops, unexpected developments. So the dance unveiling, there's something definitely speaking through us. So let's look at what we've got here. We've got turquoise lotus mother, number 42. She's got some type of a mudra, and also the lotus is a sign of spiritual knowledge. We're going to put these over here, I think. Let's put them this way. Then we have shining lotus. So for some of you, this may be something to do with the matriarchal line, because we have the mother of the lotus, and now the shining lotus is like either her advancement, your own, the inner feminine that is you, whether you're masculine or what, or it can represent an individual in your life that's in this reading, taking some type of prominence, being focused upon, the light is being shown. And when it's the shining lotus, it's the understanding that is both gentle and fragile, as well as beyond corruption in some type of a way. Here we have Dance of the Butterfly Queen, number 5. The shining lotus is 26 for anybody keeping track. And then we have Mahakali. I do believe I'm going to put her, oh boy, oh yes, these two front and center. She's number 16, and she comes out, this is a dual deck for anybody that's watching, the 16 in the Kuan Yin deck. Maiden Ma Gu, and Ma is kind of a reference to the mother energy. So this is, we're going to go through this a little bit more. And then 10, Empress of the Pearl. So challenging situations bring about the Empress of the Pearl. She becomes the Empress and ascends her sacred throne because of her alchemical process, the process of her becoming. And so with the Mahakali, she is the empowered divine feminine, I believe just returning from war. I'll probably read that one for us. And the Maiden Magu card here is the card in the Kuan Yin deck that represents, for me personally as a reader, the Little Red Riding Hood, Big Bad Wolf story, where she holds back the basket and says, no, this one is not for you, strange traveler. This is my mother's basket. None for you. So one moment, let me take a drink, ground my energies. My throat is acting away, and one moment we'll continue. All right, folks. The energy is pretty intense. I was asking for some big energies to step through, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to be concise with your reading and honor those energies to speak really concisely here. So, okay, the fact that the two 16s came out together for me 16 is the number of the Tower card in the tarot. And if anybody isn't a tarot pro, the Tower shakes up everything. It is like Pluto, Uranus type energy, where it's like transformation and spontaneous change and revolution. And the bolt of lightning is such like the blast from the divine that wakes us up from any type of complacency or false allegiances and allowances in our lives, and peels off any type of blindfold that we may have had in regards to our comfort zones. And so this energy comes through with this shaking and us not understanding the process, and how do we reconcile what is going on. And maybe this is something that is why this communicate plainly card comes out for me as a reader, to really say once and for all that I do with all my heart believe that Trump will not get inaugurated. And that's what I'm personally reeling with at this point in my life, and the fact that many individuals have been led to believe that other individuals in this world, that there's not enough room for all of us. And so here's what I want to do. I want to offer up to you guys. I've been wanting to do this for a few days. I've been sharing some people on my community page, and one of them reminded me about muscle testing. One of the ways you can do this is to take your two fingers and make a tight ring around both of them and interlock them, and test yourself and say, okay, my name is Dina. It remains solid. My name is Angel. I can't hold it. I am a woman. I am a man. I can't hold it. So trust this, and check with your intuition and how your higher guidance team and your light that is within you, that is synchronized in harmonic evidence of the divine's connection in your heart and soul, that you can trust something. And I'm not talking about partners that we have suspicions about. You can test those things too, but sometimes we can override things too. So there's always, everything comes with the caveat that it's not actually rocket science, but it's a way to tune in and to get yourself to a calmer state, to trust what you believe as well. And so the 216s come out as the Tower, that want to show us how the Tower is not something to be feared, but something to ultimately reconcile our own sense of trust and faith in an abundant universe, instead of believing that we will be abandoned in this world. Everything, even those things that seem to work for the darkness, are inevitably going to be superseded by the light within us. This is what I believe. So I wanted to just check in while I was grounding, and I did want to see what these two were about. And Maiden Magu is all about trusting that all things are, no matter how bleak, are working out in our best interest here. It says, you're asked to honor that light can come from even the darkest beginnings, beloved. In fact, sometimes we need to enter into the unknown parts of ourselves that dance unveiling, into what we need to grow into peace, into creative self-fulfillment and happiness. The challenge can be to trust that we will arise from this darker place again. Just as the spring always follows the winter, beloved, so too will any inner work with the shadow precede a beautiful rebirth for you. So yeah, trust that whatever is developing is going to be evidence that you were lifted up out of something and deposited someplace better. But that doesn't mean to lie down because as they said, self-actualization, to put it into my words, it's like, it's also, we get backed into the corner so that we stop saying, whatever you wish, Master. And then when it becomes us against them, it's like us against them. I think two things. We've got to recognize when we have to just stand up. That's what I do want to say. But I think that we're being upgraded with our DNA at the same time to recognize how we can actually effectively not become, for those that know, a re-escalation of the Atlantean Lemurian debacle where they basically blew up all of civilization, and they were technologically advanced. Whether you think that's a metaphor or something that truly happened, legends ring with truth, right? So Mahakali, I want to read this one too to you guys at 21:21 on the timer. Her magnificence steadies the anxious mind and reassures the heart of the empowering grace that arises through trust in her and in the divine dance unveiling. Attempting to fathom the wisdom behind the workings of the Divine Mother would be like trying to cram the entire ocean into a teacup. Such wisdom is vast, and our perspective is limited, yet we don't need to understand divine will to benefit from it. Better to allow her creativity, resourcefulness, and unlimited vision to take effect in our lives, bringing us every grace necessary for our blessed fulfillment. So as promised, let's look at these Tao cards. I've already shuffled a bit, as you see. He will win who prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. All right, so always be prepared when you're backed in a corner to take a stand. We've got speaking in public, getting my eye first. Sun Tzu said, in all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure the victory. So there are very direct things riling people up, but underneath the surface, there is something here winning over the hearts and the minds of the individuals. If in the midst of difficulties we're always ready to seize an advantage, we may extricate ourselves from misfortune. So mote it be. Speaking in public. For the prospect of speaking in public, the prospect can be terrifying. However, it's a skill to develop. For Sun Tzu, the enemy of the public speaker could be lack of a point, mumbling, reading your speech, and making too much out of your mistakes. To quote, know yourself means know the material, relax, be confident, dress right, sober up, practice, and just be yourself. Sun Tzu said, if you know the enemy and know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. Folks will recognize it, right? If you know heaven and you know earth, you may make your victory complete. So there's something that you're winning here. I think that it's winning over that scarcity mentality that says there's not enough love, there's not enough approval, there's not enough boldness or courage or belief and faith, not enough goddess and God energies coming, quote, to the rescue. That's a reflection within the hearts of the individual. And are we invoking that? I don't care how it happens. Let the power of love gather its love force energy within my soul. There goes my voice coming back into my body. Do I believe? I do believe. Do you believe? Let's take this energy in. Another deep breath together, if you so choose. And let's push that energy down, visualizing it taking itself all the way down, down through our legs, through beyond the knees, beyond the ankles. You feel your feet beginning to tingle with the power of the energy fluxing and flowing. One more deep breath. And let that out, all the way down and out through the legs, tingling in the legs and throughout the toes as you release that energy down, down into the earth, digging deep into the sustaining soil that both feeds us and supports us as we stand tall in our bodies and in our wisdom. Both heaven and earth manifest in this vessel, in this consciousness, in this time and space for a reason, for a purpose. So let's hear it. Let's everybody here, I would suspect, has a message or a point or something, some type of dialogue or debate that they would love to engage in some way with some individual or individuals, in order to expand the dialogue and understanding of the moment. However, there's so much acid in our inefficiency and inabilities and shortcomings with true, honest, heartfelt communication and compassionate exchange here, that it can be daunting, but we are the ones we've been waiting for. The critical mass of the messages that we are here now on purpose to birth and to begin and to conceive in this reality are speaking through us on such an extreme vibrational level. And the reason that we feel a little bit disoriented and all of the static is because of the fear, the false evidence appearing real. We look at all these differences and nuances and think, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Maybe I should be quiet. Maybe I should listen. Yes, we all need to listen. But are we listening also to our inner divine? So I think we are. In 44 is the next number up, which to me is the number of angelic protection. Fame or integrity, which is more important? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? Success or failure, which is more destructive? If you look for others to fulfill you, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way that things are now, for the things that you are blessed with in this here and now. When you realize that there is nothing lacking, the whole world and universe belongs to you. Know that you too are a powerful agent of change. Prevention is better than the cure. We've gotten this one recently. We are all, quote, generals or the inner God within. We're all divine. We're all generals in our army of one. We are responsible for how we live and how we relate to others and communicate with others, apparently. Responsible for the way that we live and relate to others, as well as thwarting an enemy's plans is better than laying siege to their city. So, also looking after your health is better than waiting until you get sick. And managing your budget is better than falling into debt. Be responsible for yourself and for others. So, before we fall into debt personally or collectively here, before we all get sick with the hatred, before we all lay siege to each other's cities, there is the time that the divine is assisting us with a great revelation, and nobody here is on the, well, not nobody. Many of us here, the great populace of people, the majority of individuals here are just trying to do what's right. And so the divine has to show the way. Sun Tzu said, the highest form of generalship is to balk the enemy's plans. Entirely right, to prevent it. The next best is to prevent the juncture of the enemy's forces. The next in order is to attack the enemy's army in the field. And the worst policy of all is to besiege their cities. So this is being handled in such a way that this time we can do it peacefully, hopefully. Authority, number 10, is also corresponding with Empress of the Pearl. So through adversity, we will be all transformed, and I was actually hearing transfigured, transmuted into this higher capacity crystalline DNA structure. Crown chakra, open your mind, open yourself to your higher guidance and wisdom of the divine angels, to your gut instincts and intuition in this moment. We're out of time here. I'm going to get just a couple more code cards here. Passion 34. Yeah, something had to fire us up to get us to be this self-actualized spiritual warrior in the moment, to discern, number 20, what course of action is demanded of us and where our calling falls. And look at this, the divine feminine with romantic love here. This could be taken multiple ways. I will do one more reading today and we'll clarify that. So if you're in for the romantic reading, we do have conception here. I believe that for some of us, this is just evidence that the female is within us is trying to birth this new loving reality. At the end of the day, unity consciousness cannot be had through duality consciousness. It can and it can't. It can't be upheld by the illusion any longer. And so there's multiple disclosures as well. Actually, I do want to do 2 more readings. We're also going to do something with Pleiadians and some star origin things with the disclosure of the UAP, UFO type information coming through in the U.S. There's pressure. So we're going to see what that's all about. So take care of you guys. If you made it this far, hit some of those buttons for us. Help us grow the channel and get the message out. Thank you so much. Big love. Take care.